Welcome everyone and thanks for joining. This session is a landmark session for our group. Last year around this time, to be precise, on 17th January 2020, I had created WhatsApp group Grow Money Trading, and thanks to participation of everyone here, this group grew much faster than I had expected. Then we had to create second group, third group. Now we have four WhatsApp groups, Telegram group, YouTube channel, and this would not have possible without participation and support of you guys. So I would like to begin this session by saying thank you to each and every one of you on the call or who would be watching this recording after the call on our YouTube channel. And thanks to all the members for keeping all the groups active and contributing, and most especially to Tahir, who came up with this idea of having a Zoom session, which made us bring more together. And it has now become a weekly habit of meeting together, discussing the stocks, and getting to learn from each other. And that learning has increased exponentially, I would say, with the participation and the knowledge sharing that Vivek sir has given to us. We have learned so much from him, and I really feel that we are blessed to have him in the call and in our group to learn from his experiences. That has been one of the key factor I feel that our group has grown, and I see that even this year it could be faster growth what we have seen from 2020. So thanks everyone for contribution. I hope we all continue growing the way we have made good profits in 2020. Many of you would be starting new, would have been a beginner, and I hope our group, through our channels, through our WhatsApp groups and these sessions, we are in some or the other way trying to help you to get more comfortable in trading, be it Canadian stock market, US stock market, or any other stock markets that you are interested in. Now, coming to the topic that we have for today, as requested by many of our group members, is penny stocks trading. Before I start speaking on that, I would like to give a disclaimer and share a little about my background so people have right expectation. Um, when we talk about penny stocks trading, you would have heard from many people that it's risky. So when I say about my trading style, which includes penny stocks trading, I don't say that it's not risky. It's risky, but it has potential as well. High potential comes with high risk, and I am willing to take that risk. That's why I trade in penny stocks, which may not be feasible for everyone. So I would suggest each of you to gauge based on your investment um, plan or your investment amount on how much risk you can take. Then you can uh, think about trading penny stocks. Now, I am a investor, I would say, more leaning towards investor than trader. I have a full-time job. I dedicate most of my time during the day from 8:30 to 5:30. It overlaps with market time, but I make sure that I give more dedication to my permanent job, my full-time job. That's my first source of income. Whatever profits I make from stocks is mostly through investments. I rarely do day trading. Uh, when I have free time, I mean, when I'm off from my office work, that's on those days I try to do day trading. I mostly don't do day trading, and I do aftermarket trading because that doesn't um, conflict with my full-time job. So you would be seeing my um, trading updates. Most of them would be about the stocks which I buy in aftermarket, or I set the limits after analysis after market, and those get executed during market hours. Um, and it's totally possible based on the way I have seen last entire one to more than um, I would say 1.5 year. It has worked, and it's possible to invest in stocks, make profit without affecting your full-time jobs. And if someone wants to make more gains, be active if he has time. It's well and good for you. It all depends how much time you have to give your time to monitor the stocks, monitor the stock markets. So it's again individual preference and availability, which uh, whoever is trading, doing day trading or just doing investing like me. I see a couple of questions here. So I'm located in Canada. I am in Toronto. And regarding question on intraday trading in TFSA, I think we have touched this couple of times that we don't encourage intraday trading in TFSA account. Sorry if I missed to mention my name. I am Kamal, and you would have seen my messages in the group. Okay, so without taking further time, talking about penny stocks again, uh, the different stock exchanges have different requirements for the stocks to maintain listing on the stock exchanges. And on a general notion, penny stocks in the US stock markets, the stocks which are three or under $3 are considered as penny stocks. Um, for listing, a particular company has to qualify some of the requirements in some of the string. Sorry, yeah. So for listing a stock on a stock market, the company has to meet stringent requirements, and one of those being the stock price. So Nasdaq lists a stock uh, valued at $4, and some of the stocks it gives a leniency to start trading at $3 or $2. Uh, this is for starting the listing. In order to maintain listing, the stocks are on US market, the Nasdaq and New York Stock Exchange. They expect stocks to have bid price of at least $1. And if for a consecutive 30 days, if they are not able to maintain $1, then they are notified that they could be delisted unless they satisfy some other criterias as well. They uh, during this notice period, if they are not able to push their stock price at least $1 bidding price, then they get delisted. And if they get delisted, the stock is mostly moved to OTC, which is over the counter market. And delisting usually happens with it if it is voluntarily. It's a good thing that the company could have had a merger plan, or they voluntarily want to go private. In that case, you might not lose. If it is a forced or involuntary delisting which is initiated by the stock exchange, then in that case the stock would still be with you. It might uh, trade in OTC market, but the stock price drops, in which case most of those who are holding it end up losing. most especially the retail investors. There could be big players who take advantage of that situation, pool up investments from different people, and have a considerable percentage of position on that uh, company's investment, so that they could negotiate with the company and benefit um, from having a higher percentage of holding. Uh, but that is not for most of us. That doesn't apply for almost um, 90 to 95% people. So it's better, once you notice that you are having a stock which is about to be delisted, then take up then sell your stock, and it's okay to take up loss on that stock and try to recover from some other stock. uh, and in trading penny stocks, one one need to be mentally uh, ready that it can happen with you, and that should that should not stop you from trading penny stocks, but you should be aware that it could happen, and that's why it's considered as risky. Now, why would anyone want to trade in penny stocks, even though there's this much of risk of losing money if the stock gets delisted? um, a very simple answer, which most of is that it has high potential to grow as well. And there are three different strategies which I use, which has worked for me, and I'll be sharing those in few minutes. Um, and if if you try any of these three, you might find yourself in situations where it might give you loss. But these are the ones which I have tried, have worked most of the times, and has given me considerable gains. And when I say considerable gains, um, I have 6 to 7 trading accounts, and my bigger trading account has over 50% gains. So these gains hopefully could give you a confidence that these have worked. It's just again one disclaimer that uh, it can happen with any stock, not just with penny stock, that the stock which has given gain to me, considerable gain to me, it could give you gain, but it could make you land up into a situation where you could make more loss. Thing is, the key point here is the entry point at which you buy the stock. If you buy when it is lower than when and after you buy, if it goes up, you you are making gain. But if you see that the stock has gone up and then you enter, it might happen that after you enter, it can continue further, and if you sell, you are making gain. But if you don't sell, and if it drops further, you you're in loss. So uh, it can happen with any of the stock. With penny stocks, since the percentage of change is much higher, so depending on the volume that you buy, it it shows a significant difference on your portfolio. So most of it what I have spoken to now. Any questions on any of these? Many of you are familiar of these. I have not spoken anything new up to now. But just in case if any of you have questions up to now, then before we move forward. The stocks, there's a question about, are all OTC stocks are delisted from popular stock exchanges? They if the stock is traded on NASDAQ or New York Stock Exchange and they are listed, they are moved to OTC. It doesn't apply for stocks which are traded in other stock exchanges outside US. Any other question? We'll move forward. So in terms of yes, there's a question: can a stock start off on a OTC market? Yes, it can start off on OTC market. There are also three different categories of stocks in OTC market. Um, pink uh, pink is the one which mostly has the stocks which are downgraded, means which were usually traded on New York Stock Exchange or Nasdaq, and then they are downgraded to OTC. Then there is one I think called emerging, which is newer companies which don't meet the requirements for being listed directly in New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq, and they start trading in OTC. And once they start performing better and they start growing, then they are in a position to be upgraded uh, and qualify for the requirements of being listed in these bigger exchanges. Then uh, they apply, and if they meet the requirements, then they start trading in these exchanges. Now I would like to share about the stocks which I usually trade uh, before even going to New York Stock Exchange or Nasdaq. I mostly started focusing on, or I started with Canadian market, as most of you know. So I have started investing in stocks which are less than $1 on TSX or TSXV. And TSX and TSXV, uh, they don't have this bid price requirement. Uh, the requirement that's on TSX has is the stock company valuation should be 3 million, and after for a specific period of time, if it is 2 million, they are still okay. uh, Once they drop from 3 million to 2 million, they are notified, and uh, if they don't comply, then they are delisted. But the rules are not as stringent as the ones in US market. um, and most especially last year with COVID, uh, the restrictions have been made even more lenient. There are um, less stringent rules for delisting or for maintaining listing on TSX and TSXV. In fact, for uh, the stocks on TSX and TSXV up to December 31st, 2020, the delisting review was stopped, which meant that the stocks would not go through the delisting review, and even if they are not meeting the requirement, they were still allowed to trade. However, from uh, January 2021, there is no update on that leniency as such, whether that leniency will still apply. So we are yet to see an update on that front. Um, those who were aware of this uh, would have taken advantage of buying stocks which are even lesser than 0.50, 0.30, as uh, the risk of those stocks being delisted um, was not there because of the leniency, right? So there's a question about TSX and TSXV. TSX is the stock exchange which has most of the stable and well established companies. TSXV is a marketplace for emerging ventures. So the new um, ventures which haven't grown big and uh, which have good prospects, but they have not reached a stage where they could qualify to trade on TSX. they start trading on TSXV. And I would also show that the stocks which are on TSXV have a higher growth potential since they are new ventures compared to the stocks which are already matured and are trading on TSX. Uh, Vivek has a question. How do you see the growth of Canadian penny stocks compared to US? Um, as US market is a bigger market, it has more uh, volume, much higher volume compared to Canadian market. So the stocks on even you talk about penny stocks or big cap stocks, the volatility is much higher in US market. However, for me, to be frank for this question, most of my gains I have made higher gains by investing in Canadian stocks, primarily because of two reasons. One is I started investing in Canadian stocks before. Second is the Canadian stocks, uh, since I bought on platform which is free, and I was um, I bought them with the plan of keeping them for longer term. So the penny stocks on Canadian market have given me more profit compared to the US market, because I started trading in US market about 6 months back in July last year. So um, comparing them, uh, I would say if you are thinking from long term, for me both could be good, and Canadian market is not um, that behind in terms of expecting growth from the penny stocks, more especially if you are investing in stocks from TSXV. If you are expecting faster returns, obviously US market penny stocks would give you faster. But if you are thinking for long term, um, it won't. It would be similar if you prefer to choose. If you are having only Wealthsimple Trade as a trading platform and you are preferring to buy only Canadian stocks, uh, going for penny stocks only in TSX or TSXV could also be profitable. So Ayaz has a question about, are there any restrictions on trading on penny stocks uh, on platforms like Questrade, IBKR and Wealthsimple Trade? That's a very good question. So Wealthsimple Trade has their restriction that if a stock has um, not traded above zero point 0.5, that is 50 cents for about a year, or if their trading volume is less than 50K, then Wealthsimple Trade delists the stock from their platform. The stock might continue trading on TSX and TSXV or Montreal Exchange. On Wealthsimple Trade, we have only TSX and TSXV stocks. So the stock might still be traded on the stock exchange, but Wealthsimple Trade delists it from Wealthsimple Trade. And what that means is you would be able to sell that stock, but you won't be able to buy it. It removes the buy option if a stock is delisted from Wealthsimple, but it's still traded on TSX or TSXV. Whereas on Questrade and IBKR, um, I have seen that on Questrade, it gives a warning if a stock is being moved to OTC market. If a stock is delisted from Nasdaq or New York Stock Exchange, it gives uh, 3 to 4 warning message saying that it's high risk trade. IBKR I have started recently and I have not seen any restriction in terms of the stocks that you could trade on IBKR. I would also show um, on platform that uh, I can see the stocks which are even in one thousandth of a penny available for trade on IBKR. So in terms of platform supporting the stocks for trade, and someone interested to trade on stocks which are uh, way smaller in value, under $1, IBKR is the platform to go. Um, and Wealthsimple is, uh, I would say, if the platform is removing the stock, it's also a good thing for a beginner, because a beginner may not be aware of all these requirements which the stocks need to meet on the exchange to maintain listing. So for a beginner, if the platform itself is not allowing to buy, which is a good thing, so the beginner doesn't fall in trap of buying a stock which later gets delisted. Yes, I'll be showing a screener for the penny stocks. Um, Vivek has requested that, and I'll be showing that in the screener. Fine. So any questions here up to now? Uh, that's a good question. Ayaz has asked any uh, tips for tracking, researching penny stocks on news performance. Um, so I'll mention a bit on how to find the stocks uh, through the screeners, and then what additional research we can do to uh, make sure that we are entering a good stock, or not or entering a potential stock, I should say. Yeah, we will see the examples as well. And is there a simple trade calculation wrong on average price when selling some stocks of the earlier bought stocks? Um, it it might be recently the number of users on simple trade trade have increased so much that uh, the platform in itself sometimes doesn't show your correct stock value positions, your account values. So it could be because of their miscalculations showing temporarily, but after some time they show the proper calculation.